Okay, so I finally figured out how to install Windows 11 on my PC after, I mean, it was a total headache figuring this out, so I just wanted to record this in case this helps anyone else out. So basically, when I would go into Windows Update, it would tell me your PC doesn't meet the minimum system requirements to run Windows 11, which I've fixed it. It's working now, and it still tells me this. Like, I've got it to the point where I'm able to install Windows 11, and it's, whatever, Windows. So I have a relatively new computer, and if you have a relatively new computer, you should be able to install Windows 11, but they've got this new TPM 2.0 requirement that it's kind of a headache to get enabled if it's not turned on by default. So the first thing I had to do was actually update my BIOS, which is something you might not necessarily have to do, but I have an Asus B560 Plus motherboard, so I had to go in here, go to drivers and tool, BIOS firmware, select Windows 10, and I had to download this newer BIOS. It's from 2023, but this is still newer than the BIOS I had. So you basically download this, you put it on a USB, and then you flash your BIOS from the actual BIOS. If you don't know how to do that, there's a ton of videos telling you how to do that, but this is just one thing I had to do. I had to actually go in and update my BIOS. Then if you follow this guide, how do I run TPM 2.0? It tells you to go here. So if I go to settings, Windows security, and then device security, this new window pops up, and this piece right here was saying standard hardware security not supported or something like that. And this is what was causing me to not be able to run TPM. So if you go here and yours says something like this, you probably have a similar issue to what I had. I don't think you're going to be able to do the update if this doesn't say security processor. Okay, so now I'm in my BIOS, and you'll see there's that new version of the BIOS that I had to install. Basically, I'm running an Intel processor, so your process is going to be a little bit different for AMD, and I'm on an Asus motherboard, which, again, every motherboard manufacturer is going to be a little bit different. But basically what happened with me is I would go into advanced mode, go up here to advanced, and then all the guides you look at online tell you to go to this PCH-FW configuration, and mine says something completely different than what the other ones say. Most of them would say like TPP here, and it was like enable, disable. I never had that option. Mine was set to discrete TPM, which we want to set this to firmware TPM, which I'm not changing anything, but you need to set this to firmware TPM. And then the other thing I had to do was I had to go in and enable under CPU configuration, scroll down, and enable this Intel virtualization technology. This was disabled, and this is the one thing I turned on that actually I think fixed it for me. So you need to enable this. There's a few more things that you might have to go in and enable, and there's a Reddit post that details it, which I'll link, but this was the big thing for me. Then after I changed all that, I had to go into run, so you hit the Windows key plus R, and you type this in, tpm.msc, hit OK, and this pops up this window, which I have the specification version 2.0, which is why I knew it was going to work, because it said this. I had to go up here and hit clear TPM, and it basically, you hit restart, and it restarted your computer, and I did that, and it finally worked for me. Again, it's still showing like Windows not compatible for some reason, which actually I just did a restart, so let me see if it says something different. No, it literally still says Windows doesn't currently meet minimum system requirements for Windows 11, but if I go in, I have the installation assistant, it'll work. So again, this is a total headache for me, but going in and enabling Intel virtualization assistant and updating my BIOS and changing some of the other settings finally fixed it. So I don't know, hopefully this helps someone else out.